Hi, I'm Dave Gardy for Cybersecurity TV from our studios here near Washington, D.C. for another in the series of Squirrel Compliancy TV Solutions programs. Joining us now via Zoom is Mr. Dave Lundgren, who's Director of Sales for Squirrel Compliancy Solutions. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Dave. I'm actually pretty excited about today's topic.
Yeah, the theme is From Compliance to Confidence, Leveraging Squirrel Defender in the Age of DOGE. To start off, what is the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and why is it relevant to cybersecurity?
Yeah, so DOGE is a 2025 federal initiative. It's focused on cutting waste, modernizing the government workflows, and also streamlining those operations. So in cybersecurity, this is going to translate to reducing manual processes and also maximizing automation, which is basically something that Squirrel Defender has been built for.
How does the Squirrel Defender platform align with DOGE's mission?
Right. So when we talk about Defender, it's going to help to automate all those network STIG procedures. Traditionally, they have all been manual processes. And we've talked about this many times, Dave. You know, this is 25 years it's been done the same way when it comes to auditing, reporting, and remediating network STIGs, right? So to Squirrel Defender, what it's going to do is turn around and automate those processes and actually perform a true digital transformation of the network STIG process too while doing that. And ultimately, it's going to save customers thousands of hours annually across different DoD networks. I'm actually looking at larger numbers. If adoption kind of is moved out on, we could save millions of hours when it comes to man hours in waste or just inefficiencies, which is precisely the kind of operational efficiency that DOGE is targeting.
What specific problems does the Squirrel Defender platform solve that DOGE highlights?
So the biggest one is manual compliance efforts, right? These are all outdated, they're error prone, they're going to be resource heavy. It used to be voodoo back in the days, right? Only your highly skilled and highly well-paid individuals would come in specialty teams. Cybersecurity has grown so much over the last 10 to 15 years that it's oversaturated that field now of expertise, and now you have the ability for companies or service integrators and others to just keep throwing resources at this, and it turns into a kind of a big bloated effort. So DOGE wants those bottlenecks actually eliminated, right? Squirrel Defender is going to help to modernize this with real-time, scalable compliance. It's going to do enforcement for layer 2 and layer 3 network infrastructure devices, and hopefully help to achieve those goals.
Can the Squirrel Defender platform maintain cybersecurity standards with reduced federal staffing?
Absolutely. You know, as a matter of fact, over the last couple of years, that's one of our prime things that we typically tout is the reduction of the amount of personnel that's required or expertise to operate and to actually, you know, complete these normal manual tasks. So it's designed to do more with less, right? So it acts as a force multiplier. It's going to allow small teams to continuously audit and enforce those STIG compliance objectives across massive networks without having to expand that headcount, right? Some of those customers we've seen as much as 6 resources, let's just say 3 auditors, 3 engineers, you know, who would spot check stuff before in the past, and it would take them, you know, roughly 300 to 400 hours, man hours of all them doing that in a single week's time, down to a single auditor and a single engineer or resource natively from the customer site, and having that done in as little as 15 minutes.
Is automation alone enough to meet DOGE's goals for cybersecurity and cost savings?
So no, but it is a key foundation, right? Automation platforms, tools, appliances like Squirrel Defender, this is going to enable visibility. It's going to enforce standards, right, that have not been met or not easily achieved. and it's going to accelerate those remediations or even the mitigations that need to be applied when there is no remediation. So when you combine policy and leadership support, it's going to ultimately help to drive DOGE's transformation forward.
How does Squirrel Defender turn compliance into a confidence booster for leadership?
Yeah, so it's going to remove the guesswork, first and foremost, right? Because the level of fidelity that it operates within is so high compared to what has traditionally been out there across industry, that it definitely is going to help leaders gain confidence in leveraging and adopting the platform and the tool and its capabilities and the automation, right? Real-time metrics, and basically the audit trails against everything that's being checked against, right? So it's always checks and balances. It's one thing to be able to audit a device. It's another one to turn around and have to generate all those checklists and do that manual process. So there's no more scrambling, and hurry up and try to get prepared before your CCRI or your Cora. And that confidence is going to be built, and it's going to come from knowing you're always prepared and ready for your inspection or your assessment, depending on how it's viewed.
What's the ROI story when using Squirrel Defender under DOGE?
Yeah, so one platform, thousands of devices, millions of dollars in saved labor and risk mitigation, right? Squirrel Defender is going to compress compliance cycles from months to minutes, and actually being able to achieve those holistically. It's going to align perfectly with DOGE's cost savings mandate.
Can Squirrel Defender help organizations transition from reactive to proactive security postures?
Yeah, absolutely. Most compliance tools that are out there, they focus on just identifying the tools or identifying the issues, right? And it's great that they can tell you that there's a finding. It's great that they can share with you the instructions or the check text and how to go and check for it, and then what you're supposed to do manually. But Squirrel Defender actually goes further in remediating those in real time, right? So it's going to prevent that configuration drift. It's going to enforce the zero trust principles. And it's also going to keep configurations locked into those STIG baselines, right, that the DoD mandates.
How does Squirrel Defender platforms support zero trust initiatives, something that's important under DOGE?
Right, so compliance, it is the backbone of zero trust, right? Squirrel Defender is known for enforcing known good configurations, best practices across the network, right? It's going to ensure that infrastructure remains secure by default, and it's going to be key for any zero trust architecture applied.
What message would you give federal leaders who are unsure if automation can meet DOGE's demands?
So it's kind of key and critical for everybody to realize that the future is here. It's now, right? And it's automated. We got to look at this the way that everything has come along in the past, right? We went from walking on foot to riding on horseback to horses and carriages to the Model A and to other modernized vehicles, that are gas powered and now even EV and others, right? So, Defender proves that you can enhance the security through its automation, reduce those costs, and simplify the compliance without increasing that manpower, right? It's time to let technology just kind of carry the load and help us move forward into the future, right? Again, DOGE and also that home run hit, digital transformation. We've been talking about it for 20 years. I feel that the Squirrel Defender platform is definitely the leader when it comes to the digital transformation of the network STIG process.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate the time you've taken. If people want to find out more about the Squirrel Defender platform as it relates to DOGE, where should they go on the web?
Yeah. So just hit us up, www.squirrelcs.com, Dave.
www.squirrelcs.com. We've been speaking with Dave Lundgren, who is the Director of Sales for Squirrel. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Absolutely. Thank you, David.
I'm Dave Gardy for Cybersecurity TV and another in the series of Squirrel Compliancy Solutions TV programs. Thanks for watching.